Good evening, everyone.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Today we'll be starting with the new part of decision making, that is pricing decisions. And today's what we are going to do today is fixing the price of a particular product in different situations. For example, we may have a situation where the market in which we are selling the product is a perfectly competitive market, or it is a monopolistic market. So different strategies which are there, as we have done in transfer pricing, when we are transferring goods from one division to another division. Likewise, when we take a decision to price a particular product in the market, in the open market, then there are certain rules and regulations that we have to follow, depending upon what is the nature of the market, what is the type of market that we are selling in, whether it is an existing product or a new product. For example, if it is a new product and it is something like a technological invention, something which is absolutely new. For example, when the Samsung Tab came into the market for the first time, or iPad or iPod came into the market for the first time, it was a totally new electronic product. And people were not aware of the features, people were not aware of the functions. So when I'm selling a brand new product, I can afford to sell at a very high price. And if I'm not mistaken, the Samsung Tabs which were available, the first tab was available for something around 35 to 40,000 per tab. So that was because nobody was aware of the features, nobody was aware of the product in the market. So the manufacturer could afford to charge a very high price, and also the customers would buy the product because they were very new to the product, they did not know the product. So they were curious to know what were the features of the product, how it functioned. And then as in how the market was established, the product was, the price was actually reduced, and it was available for a lower price, for a lower rate. That was a case of Samsung tablet. Likewise, we had iPads also when they were introduced for the first time, very high cost. LCD laptops. Now we are having laptops which are touch screen based, that is screen touch based laptops, where you don't require, you don't require a mouse or anything. You can directly touch on the screen and you can bring about the changes. So touchscreen laptops, all these things when they were introduced for the first time, the prices were very high, cost was very high. And therefore, that type of pricing, that is also a strategy. That is called as a skimming strategy. Price skimming. Skimming means that you are skimming off the entire profits in the early stages when the product is new, when the product is not known to the customers in the market. So you are charging the customers a very high price because they do not know as to what is the actual price or what should be the actual price of the product. But now you can find that the tablets are available in the market for as low as 8 to 10,000 also. So in Hyderabad market, I think it is around 8,000 or 9,000 for which you get a tab. So that is the price now. But initially when it was introduced, the price was very high. Okay, so that strategy is called as a skimming strategy, price skimming strategy. Likewise, now second example I can give you is Reliance Jio. Jio entered the market when there were already existing players in the market like Vodafone, Airtel, and all these companies were already providing services. Service providers were already there. And we were providing, the Reliance Jio came into the market with an established service. That means a service which was already available in the market. Now, when you are coming out with some product which is already available in the market, you can't afford to charge a very high price from the customers because customers know that there are other options in the market which are quite comparatively lower. So in that case, what is your strategy or what should be your strategy? In that case, your strategy should be that you should charge the lowest price possible and capture the market first. So lowest price in the sense that strategy will be called penetration pricing strategy. You penetrate the market, you intercept the market, you go deep into the market. And Reliance Jio has done exactly that. When it came out with the Reliance Jio services for the first time, it offered everything free, incoming, outgoing, everything free. Data also to up to a particular capacity, it was absolutely free. So data was provided free, incoming free, outgoing free. Only you had to pay the initial deposit and purchase the Reliance Jio handset, because the Reliance services were available only on the Reliance handset. So that was the only condition. So when that happened, the poorest of poor people, even I think 2,000 or hardly anything was the amount for a deposit also. So it went down to the last person in the villages. It was so popular that even in the remotest villages, you would have a person having a Reliance Jio, but he would not have a Vodafone or a Nokia or a Samsung handset. He would have a Reliance Jio handset and the Reliance services. So it became so popular that it penetrated the market. It went deep into the market. Penetration means going deep into the market. It captured the entire market, virtually captured the entire market. And it went down to the last customer, that is the poorest of poor customer was able to afford to get hold of internet services. So that is penetration pricing strategy. So again, that is a pricing strategy. So as far as decision making is concerned, it is a part and parcel. Okay, it is a part and parcel of your decision making process, that when you are manufacturing a new product for the first time, not seen by others, not known by others, then you can go for skimming pricing strategy. If you are having a product which you are coming out with, which is already available in the market, then you can go for penetration pricing strategy. So depending upon what is the situation, what is the nature of your product, then some products having inelastic demand. That means you know that whatever may be the price, the demand will not be changing. For example, something like sugar, salt, you can afford to increase the price of the product and sell it in the market. So all these are the pricing strategies, or which are available to a manufacturer, to a seller at the time of sale of goods. So it is a decision making strategy in short. Okay, so yes, Mr. Rao, what you can do is, if you are unable to hear the voice, anyone, if you are unable to hear the voice, log out and then log in again. Okay, everybody is able to hear my voice now? Audio is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Only that
audible.
Rao is not able to hear. Fine. In case anybody you are finding that because of last 2-3 days a lot of internet problem is there. In case you are unable to hear, what you can do is log out and then log in again. So you'll be able to get the clarity. Okay. So that is your one of the parts. So we have done one part of decision making as relevant costing. So that was one part. Marginal costing is one part, major part of your decision making chapter. And this is also another part of your decision making chapter. So we'll start with simple problems today, and then we will see how the problems can be developed, more and more advanced level problems we can have, and then wind up with the decision making process. Okay. So let us come to question number 1. You can refer to your PDF. Page number 11. Question number 1. Page 11, question 1. Okay. Now, question 1. First, we'll start with the simple questions. Then we'll go to the more difficult ones. 6,000 pen drives of 2 GB are to be sold in a perfectly competitive market. So perfectly competitive market where you are having large number of sellers selling a similar product. So they have perfect competition amongst them. Entry and exit is free. Anybody can come, anybody can exit. That is a perfectly competitive market. To earn rupees 1,06,000 profit. Whereas in a monopoly market means there is only one single seller or a manufacturer or a supplier where he is selling a similar homogeneous product, and that product is a unique product. It does not have any substitute, but there are large number of buyers. That is a monopoly market. So one supplier and large number of buyers. Monopoly market, large number of sellers is a perfect competition. In a monopoly market, only 1,200 units can be sold to earn the same profit. So over here, we require 6,000 in perfectly competitive market for earning 1,06,000 profit. For a monopoly market, we require 1,200 units for the same profit. The fixed costs for the period are 74,000. The contribution per unit in the monopoly market is as high as 3/4 in its variable cost. 3/4 of its variable cost. Determine the target selling price under each market conditions. Okay, so let us see how to solve. Now, if you look at the problem, they have given to you the details of the monopoly market. They have not given you details of the competitive market, because they have given you contribution is as high as 3/4 of the variable cost. So let us see how to solve the monopoly market first, and then we'll go back to the competitive market, perfectly competitive market. So right now, calculation of target selling price in monopoly market. Now, what I'll do is, I want to calculate the contribution. Contribution, there are two ways of calculation. First, selling price minus variable cost, which is not given in either of the two markets. Selling price is not given. You have to find out. Second way of calculation of contribution is fixed cost plus profit. So I'll go for that method. Fixed cost is given to me as 74,000. Add the desired profit. One lakh 6,000. So total contribution is 1,80,000. Now, next what I do is I calculate contribution per unit. Total contribution is 1,80,000. Divided by number of units in monopoly market. Monopoly market, I will be able to sell only 1,200 units. So that will be 150 per unit. How to calculate variable cost now? Pay attention. I'll sell net variable cost. equal to X. Okay. Now they have said that contribution per unit in the monopoly market is 3/4 of the variable cost. Therefore, 3/4 of X is equal to 150. So X will be equal to 200 per unit. That is a variable cost. Okay. So to this contribution, I add the variable cost. Variable cost per unit. 200 rupees. And I get the target selling price. 350. So this is your selling price in the monopoly market. Now I go for calculation of target price in the perfectly competitive market. Same method, absolutely same method. Target selling price in perfectly competitive market. Its cost will be the same, 74,000. Desired profit is 1,06,000. Contribution is 1,80,000. Contribution per unit is 1,80,000 divided by number of units to be sold in the perfectly competitive market is 6,000 units. So that comes to 30 rupees. Add variable cost per unit, which we have calculated in the earlier part. Variable cost per unit figure is not going to change. So that will be 200. Target selling price 230. So simple question, not much calculations. Okay. So that was your first question. Topic is very relatively simpler. There is nothing to worry. But since we have got this as a part of decision-making question, we'll have to solve this. Question 2. GD Limited, by using 12 lakh units of a material M, produces jointly 2 lakh units of H, 2 lakh units of H, and 4 lakh units of T. With one material M, two products are produced. Cost and selling details are given. Direct material M at the rate of 5 rupees per unit. Other variable cost, total fixed cost, all this is given to you. Selling price of H per unit is 25, selling price of T per unit is 20 rupees. Company receives an additional order for 4,000 units of T at the rate of 15 rupees per unit. That means that is the offer price. If this order is accepted, the existing price of T will not be affected. However, the present price of H should be reduced. Present price should be reduced on the entire sale of H to market the additional units to be produced. Find the minimum average unit price to be charged on H to sustain the increased sales. First, let us calculate the contribution that is existing as of now. So let us find out what is the contribution as of now. Right. Calculation of existing contribution. Calculation of existing contribution. Particulars and two columns. Let's start with sales. Sales of H, 2 lakh units. At 25 rupees per unit. $50 lakhs. T, 4 lakh units. At 20 rupees per unit. 80 lakhs. One crore 30 lakhs. 1 crore 30 lakhs. Minus from that, material M cost. At 5 rupees per unit. 60 lakhs. Other variable cost 42 lakhs. So existing contribution. $28 lakhs. Existing contribution 28 lakhs. Now what they are saying is, that if we have received an additional order for 40,000 units, and the selling price of which is 15 rupees. So if I accept that order, what is going to happen? If I accept that order, price of T will not be affected, but the price of H should be reduced to market the additional units to be produced. So if the price of H will be reduced, my revenue is going to come down, correct? If my price of H is going to be reduced, my revenue will come down. Now, if my revenue comes down, I will try to compensate that decrease in revenue by selling more number of units, correct? By selling more number of units. Now, how many units more I should sell? I do not know. They have not given. I'm just assuming, I'm just making an assumption that let us assume that we are selling 10% more. Assumption that we are selling 10% more. Now we are selling 2 lakh units of H. So in future we'll be selling 10% more. That means 20,000 units of H more, because I want to compensate for the decrease in the price of H. So what is the decrease in the price of H? That I don't know. That I myself don't know as to what will be the reduced selling price to compensate for the increase in the production of 40,000 units of the additional order. So what do we write? How do we write this? We'll have to write that since we are producing, accepting the additional order, and the price of H is to be reduced, then accordingly we assume that we are producing more of H, and let us assume that we are producing 10% more of H. Okay? The reason, I will say, sir, why 10%? Why not 5%? Why not 20%? That is because number of units of T are 4 lakh units, and I am producing additional 40,000 units of T. So that is increasing by 10%. Therefore, I assume that production of H also will be increasing by 10%. You follow? That is the logic of 10%. So write down. Write down. Company has received an additional order. Company has received an additional order for 40,000 units. For 40,000 units of T. 40,000 units of T. However, on account of additional order, the present price of H, should be reduced. The present price of H should be reduced. Therefore, company would try to sell more units of H to compensate the loss of revenue. Next line, right? It is assumed that company increases the sales of H. Company increases the sales of H also by 10%. by 10%. Next line read. Therefore, total number of units of H to be sold is 2 lakhs plus 20,000 units. That is 2,20,000 units. Let reduced selling price of H equal to X. Therefore, total sales would be 2,20,000 into X. That is the sales of H plus 4 lakh units of T at 20 rupees per unit plus additional order of 40,000 units of T at 15 rupees per unit. So 2,20,000 X plus 80 lakhs plus 6 lakhs. That is equal to 2,20,000 X plus 86 lakhs. That is our total sales. Now, variable cost equals to how much? Material cost 60 lakhs will increase by 20%. Sorry, will increase by 10%. You have increased everything by 10%, no? So material cost will increase by 10%. So 60 lakhs plus 10%. Material cost will increase by 10%. And the variable overheads also will increase by 10%. So 42 lakhs also increases by 10%. So 66 lakhs plus 46 lakh 40,000, 20,000. So 1 crore 12 lakhs 20,000. Now, what do? We say that selling price minus variable cost should be equal to the contribution. Okay, sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. Sales we have calculated 2,20,000 X plus 86 lakhs minus variable cost, that is 1 crore 12 lakhs 20,000, should be equal to the existing contribution. Existing contribution is 28 lakhs. Simplify this. 2,20,000 X minus 26 lakh 20,000 is equal to 28 lakhs. So 2,20,000x is equal to 54,20,000. So x is equal to 24.64. So minimum average selling price is rupees 24.64 per unit. Okay, so that is how we calculated the minimum selling price. Now, likewise, I will be, these are, I said, as I told you, that I'm starting initially with simple problems. So you are not having any difficulty in solving. But as we take up more and more problems, we will go to advanced level problems. So let us take now question number 3. A company has developed a new product. Sales volume of the new product was estimated to be between 15 and 20,000 units per month at a price of 20 rupees per unit. Alternatively, if the selling price is reduced to 18 rupees per unit, the sales volume will be between 24 and 36,000. If the production is maintained below 20,000 units, the variable manufacturing cost is 16.50 per unit and fixed cost is 48,500 per month. If the production exceeds 20,000 units per month, the variable manufacturing cost will be 15.5, but the fixed cost will increase to 64,500 per month. The company has paid 40,000 as fees for market survey and in addition incurred a cost of 60,000 in developing the new product. In the event of taking up this new line of business, it will be necessary to use the building space which has been let out for a rental of 5,600 per month. Now, 40,000 market survey and 60,000 cost of developing the new product are called as sunk cost. I told you it is not a relevant cost, it is a sunk cost. So they will not be considered in our calculations at all. Okay, but 5,600 is the rent that we are supposed to sacrifice because I'm using that business space for my office, that office that I've given it on rental basis, that I'm now going to get it back for my business. So I'm going to lose out on the rental of 5,600 per month. So that will be an opportunity cost for you. So that has to be considered. You are required to analyze the potential profitability of the proposal of the company at different levels of output and make suitable recommendations relating to the price and volume of the output to be set. So first step, work out if the sales is between the first range, that is 15,000 to 20,000, then in that case, what should be the profit? And if the sales is between 24 and 36,000, then what is the profit? Okay. So let us start with first one. Sales volume is between 15 to 20,000. 15,000 to 20,000. selling price per unit is 20. Variable cost per unit, if it is less than 20,000, it will be 16.5 less. Variable cost per unit 16.5. Contribution per unit 3.5. Fixed cost, I have manufacturing cost, manufacturing cost 48,500, and opportunity cost, that is a rent, 5,600, 54,100, total fixed cost. Same way we'll work out the contribution and fixed cost for the range 24,000 to 36,000. Sales volume is between 24,000 to 36,000. Now, selling price per unit in this range is 18 rupees. 18 rupees per unit minus variable cost per unit is 15.5. So contribution per unit is 2.5. Fixed cost, manufacturing cost is 64,500, and opportunity cost same 5,600. $70,100. Now with these details, we are supposed to find out the profit at all these levels: 15,000, 20,000, 24,000, 36,000, and between 15 and 20, between 24 and 36, and so on. So let us work out, let us prepare a statement showing the profit at different levels. right? Statement showing potential profit at different levels. Statement showing potential profit at different levels. Particulars column 15, 20, 24, 36,000 units. Now, contribution per unit we have already calculated. So, you will take that, multiply to the number of units and get total contribution. $3.5 per unit, 3.5 per unit into 15,000 units. It's 52,500. 3.5 into 20,000. 70,000. For the next range, it is 2.5. So 2.5 into 24,000 is 60,000. And 2.5 into 36,000, 90,000. Minus the fixed cost, which we have already calculated. For the range between 15 to 20,000, it is 54,100. And for the range between 24 to 36,000, it is 70,100. Profit or loss. In the first case, there will be a loss of 1,600. Second case, of profit of 15,900. Third case, of loss of 10,100. And fourth case, of profit of 19,900. Okay. So now the question is, the recommendation is to be given now. We are supposed to make suitable recommendations relating to the price and volume of output to be set. Price and volume of output to be set means what? I'll say that in the range below 20,000, if I want to sell 20,000 or less, then the maximum loss that I suffer is 1,600. This is the maximum loss I suffer if I'm selling in the range of 20,000 to 50, less than 20,000. And if I'm selling more than 20,000, less than 20,000, if I'm selling more than 20,000, then the losses, maximum losses, 10,100. Okay, maximum profit that I can earn if I sell 20,000 or less. Maximum profit is the maximum profit that I can earn if I'm selling 20,000 or less. And if I'm selling more than 20,000 units, then maximum profit is 19,900. This is the maximum profit. Okay, that means if I want to earn maximum profit in that range of 15 to 20,000, that means if I want to earn a profit of 15,900, then I should be selling exactly 20,000 units. Okay, so to earn this profit of 15,900, I should sell 20,000 units. But if I want to increase my profit, then what I should do? I should be increasing the number of units also. But how much? It is somewhere in the range of 24,000 to 36,000. I have to increase it. So I say that, okay, what I want to do is, I want to get a minimum profit of 15,900, and I want to produce more than 20,000. Now see, from here to here, it is showing that from 15,900 to 24,000, actually my profits are declining, and then there is a loss of 10,100. Then from this point to this point, again what is happening? From 10,100 it is increasing, and the profits are going up to 19,900. Now I am saying that I want a minimum profit of 15,900, but I want to sell more than 20,000 units. Then in that case, what I should do? I apply the concept of number of units to be produced. I first find out what is a break-even point. Break-even point is what? Fixed cost plus desired profit. Okay, desired profit divided by contribution per unit. So now what I do is, since I'm selling more than 20,000 units, fixed cost is, let us say, 70,100. In either of the case, fixed cost is 70,100. I want to sell more than 20,000 MC. And desired profit, minimum profit I require is 15,900. Minimum profit required is 15,900. And in this particular range, what is the contribution per unit? 2.5. Contribution per range is 2.5. So how many units I should sell? I should sell around 34,400 units. I should sell 34,400 units. Okay. So at higher level of sales, the quantity required to be sold, that means if I want to increase my quantity sold, I want to increase my output and increase the quantity sold, and I want a minimum profit of 15,900, which is the maximum for the range of 15 to 20,000. Okay, that amount minimum I require. So then how many units more I should sell? Then I should be selling around 34,400 units. So write down the recommendations now. Right, point number one. Point number one. The maximum loss suffered. The maximum loss suffered when sales volume is 20,000 rupees. Sorry, when sales volume is 20,000 units or less. When sales volume is 20,000 units or less. is rupees 1,600. Is rupees 1,600. Whereas it is rupees 10,100. It is rupees 10,100. If it is in excess of, if it is in excess of 20,000 units, if it is in excess of 20,000 units. Second point, the maximum profit that company can earn, the maximum profit that company can earn is rupees 15,900. Is rupees 15,900 for sales volume less than 20,000 units. For sales volume, don't write less than, for sales volume of 20,000 units or less. Sales volume of 20,000 units or less. For sales volume 20,000 units or less, and it is rupees 19,900. It is rupees 19,900. If the sales exceeds 20,000 units, if the sales exceeds 20,000 units. Point number 3. To earn the minimum amount of profit, of rupees 15,900, comma, 20,000 units must be produced and sold. 20,000 units must be produced and sold. Alternatively, at higher level of sales, quantity required to be produced, equals to 70,100 plus 15,900 divided by 2.5. That is equal to 34,400 units. That is equal to 34,400 units. So now these 34,400 units are between, in that range of 24,000 and 36,000. So what should be the price? The selling price in that case would be 18 rupees per unit. Okay. So next line, right? Therefore, to reduce the selling price, to 18 rupees per unit, to reduce the selling price to 18 rupees per unit, a minimum of 34,400 units, a minimum of 34,400 units should be sold. Okay, we'll just take a break of 2 minutes. In the meantime, you can just go through your solutions and see if you have understood all the calculations. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Shall we start? Just for tomorrow, tomorrow is Sunday. Can we have class in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Any problem for any students? Morning, what time can I start?
We have DT class in the early morning, sir. 7 to 9:30.
7 to 9, no? So I can start
Yes,
at
sir.
9:30.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 9:30 to 11:30 I can do. Because evening mostly
Okay,
I'm
sir.
not free. That is why I'm asking. Is it okay with
Yes,
all?
sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Arindan, you can also make it, no? Sunday, tomorrow is Sunday, it's not working.
Yes, sir. I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow morning the lecture will be from 9:30 to 11:30. Okay. Let us continue now. Question number 4. Hind Metals manufactures an alloy product in copper by using iron and copper. The metals pass through two plants, X and Y. The company gives you the following details for the manufacture of 1 unit of INCOP. Materials are iron 10,000 kgs at 5 rupees per kg, copper 5 kgs at 8 rupees per kg, wages 3 hours at 15 rupees per hour in plant X, 5 hours at 12 rupees per hour in plant Y, overhead recovery on the basis of direct labor hours, fixed overheads 8 rupees per hour in plant X, 5 rupees per hour in plant Y, variable overheads 8 rupees per hour in plant X and 5 rupees per hour in plant Y. Selling overheads fully variable at the rate of 20 rupees per unit. First question is, find out the minimum price to be fixed for the alloy when the alloy is new to the market. New to the market. Briefly explain this pricing strategy. Second, after the alloy is well established in the market, what should be the minimum selling price and why? Okay. So first let us find out the total cost. That is variable cost plus fixed cost. Okay. So we'll prepare a statement showing the total cost per unit. Write down statement showing cost per unit, total cost per unit. Statement showing total cost per unit. Materials. Iron 10 kgs at 5 rupees per kg, 50 rupees. Inner column. Copper 5 kgs at 8 rupees per kg, 40 rupees. Total outer column 90 rupees. Wages. Plant X 3 hours at 15 rupees per hour, 45 rupees. Plant Y 5 hours at 12 rupees. 60 rupees. 105. Variable overheads. Plant X. 3 hours at 8 rupees. 24. Plant Y. 5 hours at 8 rupees. Sorry, at 5 rupees. 25 rupees. Total 49. Selling overheads. Fully variable. ₹20 per unit. Total variable cost. $230, $264. Fixed overheads. Plant X, 3 hours at 8 rupees. 24 rupees. Plant Y, 5 hours at 5 rupees. 25 rupees. 49. Total cost. 313. Now, let us find out the answers to the two questions that they have asked. First one, they have said find out the minimum price to be fixed for the alloy when the alloy is new to the market. Briefly explain this pricing strategy. Now, if the alloy is new to the market and you want to reach out to as many customers as possible, want to capture the market, then in that case, we have to go for minimum price which you can afford to sell. The minimum price which you can afford to sell is a variable cost. Okay, so that means you should be able to sell at 264 rupees per unit. Variable cost, total variable cost, 264 per unit. Now, if the company feels that, that means, see, this much minimum is required. They have asked for minimum price, not for the maximum price. Minimum price is that price which will help you to sustain in the market. That means remain in the market. So, to sustain in the market, to be alive in the market, you should be able to recover at least a variable cost. So I say that we should be able to recover at least variable cost of 264. So selling price should be 264. But if you feel that you can increase the quantity of sales, the quantum of sales, and you will have an opportunity to come back and increase the price. That means there is a situation where you feel that you can go deeper into the market and you can what do you say, capture more market, and by selling at a lower price than variable cost also. Then do that so that you get more number of customers. And once you get more number of customers and your revenue increases, then slowly you can increase the price and bring it back to the variable cost or maybe total cost also, or maybe you can sell at a profit also. So that should be the pricing strategy. So if you go to see, even it is happening in every business, even in our teaching line, it happens. When I started with this Zoom lectures in the lockdown period, I had to capture the market, and it was new for me also. It was new for students also, because students were also not that much confident of live lectures on Zoom or something like that. They were used to face-to-face lectures, so they were also a little bit skeptical. I was also not confident of being comfortable with the online lectures like this. So it all started that way. Even if you remember, those of you who were in SFM, we used to have recorded lectures. I never used to have a face-to-face lecture live over here. So we used to record the lectures. I used to upload the lectures on YouTube, and I used to give you the link. Then slowly we started. When we came to SCM, we have started with Zoom lectures, online lectures. So slowly it developed. So initially, if I had to capture the market, what I did was I offered. Even now, I'm offering the students. I've started a recent batch of inter CA, November batch for income tax students. So I did the minimum pricing for them. For tax, I charged them minimum 3,000 rupees. And because inter students are again much more raw, at least final students are, some of them are working, so they can afford to pay. Inter students will have to depend upon their parents, because most of the students are college going students, so they are not working. So I said we'll keep it at 3,000 rupees. Final, I kept it at 4,500. And inter, I kept it at 3,000 rupees per student. Why? Because I wanted to have maximum students. For me, my setup is single. My setup is single. Whether I'm teaching 1 student or 10 students or 100 students, I will have the same setup. I will have the same time to be devoted. Only what will happen is, for that same setup, if more students are there with less of pricing, I will get more revenue. You follow now? For me, the cost will be the same for 1 student also and for 10 students also. But if I keep the pricing low, I will get more students and revenue will be more. Okay. So what I said was 3,000 rupees. So 3,000 rupees I kept, and 4,500 for final. You will not believe, students came because they found it dirt cheap. Because final over here in Bangalore, per subject they are charging something like 10 to 12,000. So, and even if you are going for minimum pricing is around 6,000 to 7,500 per subject. So for them, they found that it was half the price. It was literally 40% of the price. So 4,500. So everybody came. So I've got a large number of students at 4,500. So even if I get 10 students at 4,500, it comes to 45,000 for me. So it is better than charging 10,000 rupees and I get only 1 student. Okay, or 2 students, I will get 20,000. But by charging 4,500, I have got 10 students. So my revenue has increased to 45,000. Same way I've done for income tax, which I recently started for IPCC, that is inter-CA, sorry. 1 batch is complete of around 15 students. Second batch, I've got about 3 students. So that is what happens when you reduce the price. When you're reducing the price, you will get more revenue. So if you feel, that is called penetration of market. So if you feel that people will be skeptical to buy your product, they don't know your product or they don't know your company, then you can afford to sell at a lower price. Capture the market first, get the customers, and then after that, once they are also confident, you are also confident, you can slowly start increasing the price. So the first thing is that if the product is new to the market, like I am new to the online lectures, there are so many other people who are doing pen drive lectures and this and that. I had never got into this. And I don't think so. I'm not confident with pen drive lectures now also. Online lectures, but it is okay. But beyond that, going for pen drive lectures, I don't trust people. And I have seen many people being cheated because of pen drive, because there is a very close friend of mine also who is doing all this business of pen drive lectures. But what happens is, whosoever is very friendly with him, he markets only those products. So for example, I am teaching costing with two other people. And suppose those two people are more, in touch with him and they are more favorable to him, then he will promote their products and he will not my product. He will not promote my product, like that. So a lot of controversies are going on and this and that. So I don't want to get into that business at all, because basically I'm a professional person. I don't want to get into this, what we call in Hindi in Bombay as chindi business. Chindi business means petty business, petty politics. So I am a teacher, I will remain a teacher. So online lectures, up till online lectures, it is okay. Students are benefiting. I am also having the lectures. So totally busy now because of all these batches. I told you now, I was not joking. I was not bluffing. I've got lectures right from 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 to 8 is the first batch that I have. Right up to after your lecture also, there is one more batch at 6:30. And that goes up to 8:30, 8:45. So all those lectures are there with hardly about 2 or 3 gaps of 2 hours in between for lunch and tea. So pricing, the most important thing. We have to use this in practical life also. If you are new to the market, if you are not known in the market, keep the price low. Let the students come. Let them have the confidence. Likewise, let the customers come. Let them buy your product. Let them see the features. Let them be confident of the quality. After they are confident of the quality, they will come back to you. They will come back to you. So it is the pricing strategy that is important. So minimum price. If the product is new, what is the minimum price? Minimum price is the variable cost. Minimum price is the variable cost. You will not believe. Exactly before the lockdown, just 1 week before the lockdown, I invested in, I will not say spent, because in strategic cost management, there is no expenditure, there is only investment. I had spent on a touchscreen laptop, which was costing around 85,000. I spent on having my Wi-Fi upgraded to a higher speed, because I was planning to do all these things, but it was not immediate. So I said, let us invest and let us start. So investment was done. Just before the lockdown, just 1 week before the lockdown, my cousin came from US. So when he was coming from US, I told him, you please get me the touchscreen laptop, because here the cost is more. For the same laptop, the cost is more. So there it was available at a lower price. I told him to get it from there. Then there was a software that was to be loaded on that for recording lectures. So that was again cheaper over there in dollars. So he purchased it from there, loaded it on the laptop, got it here. And I was just playing around with that, software and all these things. When suddenly the lockdown was announced. And that also, 1 week before the lockdown, I was in Hyderabad. And I was supposed to come back on 11th of March. I was in Hyderabad for 1 week. And I was discussing the terms and negotiations were going on with your chairman, sir, for me to shift to Hyderabad. So everything concluded. And by 9th, I searched for the house, etc. I told you. I got the house also. So where I was supposed to come on 11th, I came 2 days before. I cancelled my booking of 11th. I preponed my return. And 9th, I returned back to Bangalore from Hyderabad. Exactly on 11th or so, I got the indication that there is going to be a lockdown. 17th, there was the first Janta curfew, which was announced by Modi sir. And after that, there was total lockdown. Now, in this lockdown, I did all this business. Whatever investment was there, which I made, I started using them, and therefore I was able to give you the SFM lectures on the YouTube. So that was the first initiative. That means investment has to be made. And as being a teacher and faculty of costing and tax and financial reporting and all these subjects that I'm teaching you, financial management, investment decisions, etc. If I don't make use of those things in my practical life, it will look stupid now. So I started doing this and I started reaching out to students. The first thing that came into my mind, Entire month of March, I was not doing anything. April also, I was thinking what to do. I was supposed to shift in March end, so that got postponed. Then April, I was in not in depression actually, but I was thinking what is to be done next. Then all of a sudden, I said I'll speak to your chairman, sir, and I called him up and I said, sir, can we do this? And my good luck, that chairman sir agreed, and we started with SFM recorded lectures. So it was like that. So, and that time we did not think also that we would be going online and we would be conducting full-fledged lectures and everything will be on online now. So all these things were not decided. It happened all of a sudden. And since that investment was already done, I could make use of that investment and go ahead. So now that gave me an idea. Once I started reaching out to Hyderabad students and I got good feedback, I said that, okay, I am comfortable with this also. Then I started looking out for other students who will be interested, but they were not able to get face-to-face lectures because of the lockdown. I started contacting a few of my old students. I asked them if they were having anybody who they knew. They said yes, sir. So one, two students started inquiring. Then I decided. Then the pricing was to be decided because lockdown period, everybody is not having income. So income problem will be there for my students and their parents who are going to finance them. Those who are self-financing, those who are working and self-financing the studies, they require income. So I had to keep the fees low. So even I'm not used to this pricing strategy of 3,000 per subject, but I had to do it because then I had to look at it from a broader point of view. That I don't have any other investment. Now. I don't have to have a classroom. I don't have to invest in furniture. I don't have to invest in AC. So all that cost is, my cost is saved. Now. So my cost is only in delivering the lecture for that 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. And the use of technology in which I've already invested. So up till now, I have recovered my investment. I have recovered whatever I've invested, I've recovered. And now break-even point is over. I'm now above the break-even point. So I'm looking at all these things, I'm enjoying this. Because I have done this, so whatever I'm teaching, I'm implementing. I've seen my break-even point. I've started earning more than the break-even point. So now I started generating profits. So it is like, it is working. It is working. So pricing strategy has to be there for every businessman. For every person who wants to start a business. Tomorrow you want to open your office. Okay. You want to open your office or you want to start a business of your own. Then you have to know what pricing method you should adopt. When you're having the client for the first time, client is new, he is skeptical about you, you are skeptical about him, whether he will make payment on time or not. He is skeptical whether you will provide him with the necessary service or not. So when that happens, you have to go on the lower side. Correct? Get more customers, get more clients. And then after that confidence, you also develop the confidence that yes, I can do this work, I can handle this. And you become an expert in that. Then you can slowly, next year, you can charge your client 10% more than what you charge him this year. He will also not mind. You give him some additional services. He will be happy. So pricing strategy has to be done by every person. So you must know what is the minimum that I can charge my customer. Minimum is the variable cost. Fixed cost can be recovered later on, but variable cost will not wait. So your electricity bill has to be paid. So you should be able to recover at least your electricity bill. If your office premises are on rental basis, that rent should be recovered. Okay, so you have to look at these things now. Because if you don't pay the rent, the owner will throw you out. If you don't pay the electricity bill, your electricity line will be cut off. So where you don't get the credit, where you have to make the payment, otherwise you don't have the service for you also. Those things you have to recover. That is a variable cost. Those things you have to recover. Many times we say rent is a fixed cost, but you go to see whether your landlord allows you not to pay rent for 1 year. You will not. Within 2 months, you will be at your doorstep and ask you for collection of rent. So rent has to be recovered. You have to recover your rent from your customers. So practically speaking, what we are teaching sometimes varies. We can't treat rent as a fixed cost. Yes, but when decision making is done, when I have to decide whether I should expand my business or not, then rent becomes a irrelevant factor. Okay. So these things, even for you, I'm saying, these are practical topics which you need to have knowledge of, even for practical implications, not only for a theoretical purpose. That is why I focus on the concept, because the concept, once you remember, you will use it in practical life also. So what is the minimum price? The minimum price is the variable cost. I should be able to recover my variable cost so that I remain in the business, that I sustain the business. So that is 264. If I feel that I can increase my quantum of sales, I can sell more units, I can sell it less than 264 also. And then once I establish myself, increase the price and bring it up to total cost of 313, or maybe add some profit margin also. So write the answer to the first one. Answer to the first one, first part. If the product is new to the market, if the product is new to the market and the company wants to penetrate the market, and the company wants to penetrate the market, then the minimum price should be, then the minimum price should be the total variable cost, the total variable cost, that is rupees 264 per unit, rupees 264 per unit. If the company is of the opinion that, if the company is of the opinion that a faster and more quicker sales is required, a faster and more quicker sales is required, then it may sell at below variable cost. It may sell at below variable cost also, and then immediately absorb a price increase, and then immediately absorb the price increase. That is the first part. Second part of the question. After the alloy is well established in the market, what should be the minimum selling price and why? So that means now your product has been sold, you have captured the market. Now it is time for you to slowly increase the price to more than 264. So what should be your next objective to recover your fixed cost? First objective, to recover variable cost. Second objective, to recover fixed cost. So that means minimum price. Again, they are asking you minimum price, not maximum price. So minimum price which you are willing to sell at is the total cost, 330. Okay? Otherwise, you will not be able to survive the business. So write down. Answer to the second part. After the product is well established, after the product is well established, in the market, the minimum selling price should be, the minimum selling price should be the total cost. Minimum selling price should be the total cost, that is 313 rupees. 313 rupees per unit. 313 rupees per unit. Because in the long run, at least the total cost at least the total cost should be recovered to survive in the business. To survive in the business. Okay, let us come to question 5. Question 5. ABC Limited recently began production of a new product M, which required the investment of 16 lakh in assets. The cost of producing and selling 80,000 units of product M are estimated as follows. You are given on the left hand side the variable overheads per unit, direct material, direct labor, factory overheads, selling and administrative overheads. On the right hand side, you are given the fixed cost made up of factory overheads and selling and administrative overheads. ABC Limited is currently considering establishing a selling price for product M, and the director of the company has decided to use the cost plus approach. Now, cost plus approach means total cost plus a small margin of profit, or we can call it as markup rate. Okay. Now, there is a difference between markup cost and cost plus approach. What is the difference? The difference is that in markup cost, when I use the word markup, it is a percentage on the total cost. If I say that cost plus markup of 25%, then it is total cost plus 25% of total cost. Whereas if I say cost plus approach, it means total cost plus something. Now that something need not be calculated on the total cost. It can be something which you require, a desired profit. For example, I say whatever is the total cost plus 20 rupees. So I am not calculating as a percentage of or in relation to the total cost. Or I may say that, I have invested in this business so much, so I should get 10% returns or 15% returns from this. That returns will be your profit, desired profit, which will add to total cost. So that is cost plus approach. So you can read further. Cost plus approach to product pricing, and has indicated that product M must earn a 10% rate of return on invested assets. So that is your plus part. What is the plus part? 10% return on invested assets. And how much have you invested? 16 lakhs. So 10% of 16 lakhs, that is 1,60,000 you have to recover. Determine the amount of desired profit from the production and sale of product M first. Desired profit. So you have to calculate the projected profit. Second, determine cost per unit, markup percentage, and the selling price of product M using 3 different cost concepts. So cost per unit, markup percentage, and selling price using total cost concept, production cost concept, and variable cost concept. First, I will take total cost plus the markup your profit desired, find out the markup percentage, find out the selling price. Then I will take the production cost and do it. Then I will take only variable cost and do it, like that. Third, assume that for the current year, the selling price of product M was 42 rupees per unit. To date, 60,000 units have been produced and sold. An analysis, that means now, as of now, it is 42 rupees selling price, and 60,000 we have produced and sold. An analysis of the market indicates that 15,000 additional units are expected to be sold. Additional units during the remainder of the year. Recently, the company received an offer from XYZ Limited for 4,000 units, additional production, 4,000 units at 28 each, offer price 28 rupees. XYZ Limited will market the units in Korea under its own brand name, and no additional selling and administration expenses associated with the sale will be incurred by ABC. That means selling cost is not going to be incurred for that additional order. Why? Because they have already approached you. You don't have to advertise, and you don't have to sell it in the Korean market. They will sell, so they will incur the expenses. The additional business is not expected to affect the domestic sales. That means domestic sales, whatever they are selling, that will continue. And in addition to that, you will have the export order. Okay. And the additional units could be produced in the year using the existing capacity. That means you have the sufficient capacity to manufacture the additional 15,000 units or rather 4,000 units. Fine. So let us start first with calculation of the desired profit. Desired profit. Right now, desired profit is 10% on invested assets. Investment in the project. Investment in the project equals to 16 lakhs. Therefore, desired profit is equal to 10% of 16 lakhs. That is 1,60,000. Okay. Now let us do all the calculations under the first method, that is the total cost concept method. Right. Second A, under total cost concept, particulars and amount call. Under total cost concept. Material cost 80,000 into 10. 80,000 into 10. 8 lakhs. Labor cost 80,000 into 6. 4,80,000. Variable factory overheads. Variable factory overheads. 80,000 into 4. 3,20,000. Variable selling overheads. 80,000 into 5. 4 lakhs. 8 and 4, 12, 15, 19, 20 lakhs. Total variable cost. Then fixed factory overheads 8 lakhs. Fixed factory overheads 8 lakhs. Fixed selling overheads 4 lakhs. This is your total cost. ₹32 lakhs. Now, cost per unit ₹32 lakhs divided by 80,000 units. So that will be 40 rupees. Markup percentage. How to find? Markup per unit I will find first. Sorry, markup percentage. For that, I will first have to take the total investment, that is profit design 1,60,000 divided by total cost. Total cost 32 lakhs. So 1,60,000 divided by total cost 32 lakhs into 100. So that comes to 5%. Calculate this 5% on 40 rupees and find out the selling price. So selling price is equal to what? 40 plus 5%. That is 42 rupees. So these are the three things that they have asked for. Alternatively, what you can do is you can take 1,60,000 divided by 80, get the per unit 2 rupees. But they have not asked for the profit per unit. They have asked for markup percentage only. So they require percentage only. So they have asked for cost per unit. I have given them. They have asked for markup percentage. I have given them. They have asked for selling price. That also I have given. So these three things were asked. There, this is our total cost concept. Let us go for the second concept. Second concept is what? Production cost concept. Right. Under production cost concept. Total production cost. Whatever is non-productive, remove it. What is non-productive? Selling overhead is non-productive. Factory overheads is productive. Here also selling overheads is non-productive. So this 4 lakhs I subtract, this 4 lakhs I subtract from 32 lakhs. So 32 lakhs minus 4 lakhs minus 4 lakhs. 32 minus 8, 24 lakhs. 32 minus 8, 24 lakhs. Okay. Then cost per unit. Cost per unit 24 lakhs divided by 80,000. That is 30 rupees. Markup percentage. Markup percentage. That is equal to 1,60,000 divided by 24 lakhs into 100 percentage. How much? How much?
6.6%.
That is normally what the students would do. That is why I give you that option to calculate. But this is not correct. This is normally what the students do. Now, markup percentage when I'm calculating. Desired profit is 1,60,000. But since I have subtracted these two, that means there is a savings in cost. There is a savings in cost. So if there is a savings in cost, that is going to add to my profit. So that 8 lakhs I add over here. And then divided by 24 lakhs. So now tell me. 40%. Selling price. +30 40%. 42 rupees per unit. Okay, so when you're solving now, when you come across something which is slightly different from what you have done up till now, you can put a small asterisk mark here. So that when you're revising for the exam, you know that this is the point to be revised by. You don't have to solve the entire problem. This is the point that you have to keep in mind. That when you're going only for production cost, then there is a savings in the other cost that you are not incurring. So you are entitled to get more profit. So desired profit plus that savings will also count. Let us now see variable cost concept. Total variable cost already calculated 20 lakhs. Cost per unit 20 lakhs divided by 80,000. 25 rupees. Markup percentage. Now tell me, markup percentage. What will you do? Desired profit 160 plus fixed overheads which you are not going to incur, which you are not going to take, 12 lakhs divided by 20 lakhs into 100. How much? 68%. Selling price 25 plus 68%. 42%, 42 rupees. Okay. Now, to check up whether that proposal of 4,000 units of product M should be accepted or not accepted. We have to check up that. So let us see. Evaluation of proposal of XYZ Limited. Evaluation of proposal of XYZ Limited. Differential sales or incremental sales, you can say. Incremental sales. 4,000 units are being sold for 28 rupees per unit. Offer price is 28 rupees. So that comes to 1,12,000. No? Minus incremental variable cost. I'm not talking about fixed cost because fixed cost is not to be recovered from them. We are already having the infrastructure. Incremental variable cost, but excluding selling and distribution cost, selling overheads. What is your total variable cost? 20 lakhs. Total variable cost is 20 lakhs. What is your selling and distribution? Part of that variable selling overheads 4 lakhs. So 20 lakhs minus 4 lakhs is 16 lakhs. But that 16 lakhs is to produce 80,000 units. And now I want to produce only 4,000 units. 80,000 rupees. So I have incremental contribution. That means additional contribution. Additional contribution of 32,000. Additional contribution of 32,000. So what do I say? Since the offer is resulting in additional contribution, then it is better to accept the offer of XYZ. Right? Since there is additional contribution, arising from the offer, it is recommended to accept the proposal. It is recommended to accept the proposal of XYZ Limited. Recommended to accept the proposal of XYZ Limited. Okay. So we'll stop here for today. Tomorrow, morning lecture, 9:30 to 11:30. Okay. Everybody is going to make it now. Direct tax lecture gets over at 9 o'clock. Sure.
9:15, sir. 9:20.
So do you want me to start the lecture at 10 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So fine then. We can have sufficient break also between two lectures. So we'll start the lecture at 10 then. 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. 10 to 12, 2 hours. That is
Okay,
good.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.